People say it's hard to survive in nature. But Stafford was enjoying a sweet, supple dumpling. Fresh fish sashimi and crickets contain a lot of protein. To survive is like going on vacation. Fairytale Valley in Taiwan. It's one of the recognized places. It's the hardest I've ever been, with extremely complex terrain. My opponent this time is an explorer, come survival expert. Nis is also your son's teacher, so they're very familiar with each other. After the conversation, they're on their way to the challenge site, with the root of the Great Joe, planning an arbitration by the law. It comes from a river. They're going through giant rocks and rugged jungle. The destination is a suspension bridge 70 kilometers away. They both jumped into the river and swam to the shore. Nis lead and continue Levin follow the river, while he turns to another road on the mountainside. And they split into two directions. He climbs the steep slope. It suddenly rained heavily. It makes the road more difficult. Be very careful to move forward. The strange thing is that there is no rain on the Nis side, but the rocky terrain is also very difficult. Have to move slowly between the rocks. Wet and slippery aisle. After a while they both continue their journey to their destination. Now it seems impossible. Both sides are steep cliffs. Later, many difficulties have come to the other side of the river, but go against the current, although it seems to be falling behind. But this road leads straight to the finish line, to a waterfall with rugged terrain. You have to climb through the big rocks. I thought everything would go well. I met another waterfall. Tried Leo but 7 failed. He changed direction through the forest and came to a structured area, where you use bamboo to make a ladder. Then you can easily climb to the top of the falls, and excited to overcome the challenge. On the other side, Nis went on his journey and found a tree by the river. We made a rope out of the bark and we caught a little crab. Eat on the spot. Crispy and delicious as chicken even though the meat is small. It wasn't too far before it started to rain. Forced to find shelter in the forest. In a cave. Lesbian's liner leaves big as cushion and decides to camp here. With the shelter done, the next thing is to build a campfire. She finds Leo rope and wood, wrap it under the wood and rub it hard. Unfortunately, the rope broke and she replaced it with a new one. Keep trying. It takes a lot of energy and eventually it's a spark. When it's getting dark, he went to the bamboo forest to collect 10 bamboo to build a shelter. Put the leaves on top and finish quickly. Then he rubbed a piece of dried bamboo to make a fire. This time the fire appeared quickly. Make life easier. That night I lit a campfire and slept well. The next day Nis followed the river. While you stayed to prepare breakfast, he caught crickets to eat temporarily to replenish energy. Then continued to catch more stored in the bag, deep into the bamboo forest. He discovered Taiwan's characteristic light tree, tight about making food. Back to camp, he cut bamboo and stuffed the core of the luminous tree with crickets. There's enough meat. I started wrapping the cake one by one on the banana leaves. After about 49 minutes, the cake is ready. When opening the land, fragrance radiates. Put it in your mouth. The smell makes me sound happy. Even you don't stop praising. Meanwhile, Miss continued the journey through the valley where the river and the mountain widened. The way is easier. However, there is a landslide in front. Be careful to avoid dangerous areas. Follow the forest but can't find your way. Forced to climb up the slope to find another way. After eating no Estaford men follow the water up. Climbing over many large rocks. I met a waterfall and tried to climb. But it didn't work. We have to go back down. Here I found a cave. It's coming in but the water's starting to seep in. I tried to swim through. Climbing up the rock but because of slippery so it cannot stick. Have to keep going. The deeper the water gets, you have to use the top of your head to push the water to breathe. In a critical situation, you dive in, swimming through the dark. He drank a few sips of water but was not in danger. We finally got into another cave. As it gets dark, Nis found a fallen tree in the forest and built a shelter. Tried to spend the day in the cave. The next morning, Nis pulled from the shelter out a sausage. Gently caught food. But she was enlightened and only vegetarian. Then release it naturally. Esther leaves the cave. Take the bamboo to the river and cut it into a fishing pole. After a long walk, I was glad when I caught a fish. To the shore you eat sashimi. It is rich in protein many times more than beef. After breakfast we continued the journey. Miss was one step ahead, over the mountain and continue across the river. She faced the dangerous big waterfall. Collect 10 long climbing ropes tied to the stone. Use the rope to land safely. Go one more paragraph. You meet the current. Again with Leo's rope tied to the tree to get through. Carefully and firmly Nis slowly slides down. After a day of trying, we both continue our journey as the day draws to a close. Estefort went into the forest to build a shelter. But while collecting 10 lumber, I accidentally used too much force and fell. Meanwhile, Nis comes to a bamboo forest, using bamboo to build shelters. After completion, she continued to use bamboo knitting baskets. Carry the basket to the river, use wood as a frame and put the basket in the water to catch the fish. When it's dark, light a fire for a while and then pull the basket up. I caught 2 carp. Each one weighs about 100 grams. Glad not to describe. Back to camp, she enjoyed delicious grilled fish. Enjoy your time on Wednesday. That day we both left the river. Through the forest slopes, I climbed to the top covered in fanciful clouds. Although I can't see the location of the suspension bridge, you've identified the direction. You run down the mountain. Meanwhile, Nis climbing the mountain gasped and had to lie down to rest. After a while she got up and continued her journey. But she's having trouble because she's allergic for unknown reasons. Nis persisted for a few more hours. Until it was dark, she'd set up camp under a rock, placing the logs against which to shield. Towards you while walking at night. He felt the smell of smoke and noticed someone nearby. This place is definitely not that simple. You quietly approach. This time I did not pass but carefully watched. I came to Nis. Both sitting by the campfire at night. Talk about life and ideals. Then each of you rests on one side. Midnight Nis sneaking away without you even knowing. When I woke up in the morning, Nis was gone. Immediately confused and quickly chased. Now Nis is running across the river. But I'm not ashamed to have caught up and overtaken. Nis goes on climbing the slope in the forest. Nis is just a short way from the destination, but I went to the suspension bridge first. Complete this challenge with victory. This is definitely one of them. Esther's rare moment of light. While surviving on a deserted island, I saw a sheep hanging himself. It's not just because of that, it's famous in the survival world. Wild. I even got a whole room full of dried lamb. Enjoy roasted lamb thighs, flowing fragrant fat and big more. Crab with fist. Turn the survival program into a wild food party. Since spending a year walking through the Amazon, the skills, your passivity has been trained to transcendence. But to challenge your limits. This time he decided to survive alone on the island, wild for 60 days. Know that this challenge can go without returning. Before we start, I asked the vet for a full checkup to make sure there's no problem with your health. Then, you're on the nuclear speedboat of the production team. Hurry to the place to take off your trousers, dress up Pixel and say goodbye to your teammates. There's a complicated feeling in my heart, because I didn't bring anything this time. Hair for the next 60 days. I can only overcome all difficulties on my own. As everyone knows, the most important thing about living on a deserted island is to find drinking water. Looking around, he saw that the island had a lot of coconut trees. Because there's no coconut picking tool, you just pick low trees and smash coconuts against rocks to get drinking water. It's sweet, it's really great. After solving the urgent drinking water problem, I started thinking about shelter. Because the nighttime temperature here can plummet. I walked along the beach looking for. I was lucky to find a cave. The size and location are suitable. Through excitement, I couldn't help but shout for joy. I decided to make this place my home. Then he found some hay that flowed into the ground as a cushion. The first evening, just watching the sunset and adding coconuts. Life is really comfortable. The next morning, I woke up refreshed. Today's mission is to explore the island, searching for food and water. Along the beach, I found a lot of sea snails clinging to the rocks. Collect 10 and use stones to break the shell. Because of the risk of eating raw, try one first. If there is no problem, keep eating. The taste of snails is neither salty nor pale. Contains many times more protein than beef. To eat and drink. I keep looking, and I found a ditch on the cliff. There's fresh water in the hole. This makes me very happy. Immediately taste and notice the fresh water. Cool is great. It's far beyond beef. But being naked makes me feel insecure. So I looked for bark nearby. Stuffed with hay. Make a sensitive zone protective suit for yourself. I have to say that your craft is very good. Keep moving forward. I found many bottles in the forest, washed up by the waves. Very suitable for freshwater storage. And one of them even has a straw. After another 45 minutes, you finally know the location of the island. Because there's no road map. Getting lost is not easy. To have a comfortable sleep at night, he collected 10 more palm leaves and suddenly caught an unlucky lizard. No need to drop the tail. You eat directly crispy as chewing near the cow. Tuesday morning I collected 10 seashells. Washed and folded immediately. As long as it rains, there is fresh water. Then he used the rope he'd picked up as a straw. One end is in the water hole on the cliff. Put your head in the bottle. Water will flow through the rope into the bottle. Done. He continued to explore deep within the island for resources. I can believe there are many on the island. Wild mountain goat. It makes you drool. But unfortunately, there's no hunting tool. He promised to catch one, then keep looking. I found the coal wood that lightning left behind. It cannot be eaten but is used to clean teeth. He grinds it into a fine powder of stone, put in the mouth of tooth tea, with a carbon content many times higher than beef. It's often said that guys love to be clean. Your luck is not so bad. On the way home, I found a classic shirt. Except for this stuff, I can't find any useful items on the island. To the 5th day, throughout the days gone by, you can only live on coconuts and sea snails. After checking the water collector, I see it's almost half full. Seeing water and food is no longer a problem, I decided to start a fire. To build a fire starter, I cut down a small stone tree and strip the bark of the tree so that the strings combine into a wooden bough. Then chop a piece of wood as a base. It is easy to say but hard to do. I worked all morning. You're so tired that your muscles are tense and you can't see the spark. It's not worse than a water heater malfunctioning. The collected water is poured out. Look at the little water left. I feel a deadlock like never before. But life has to go on. You keep collecting coconuts to replenish water. However, the low coconuts around the coast were picked clean by him. I had to climb the higher coconut trees. After 2 hours tight, I finally cut a tree that's suitable for picking coconuts to solve the urgent problem of water shortage. Then, he remade a grass dress to regain his spirit. And then back to camp to continue the firework. But whether you use a saw or a drill, I still can't make a spark. Now he realized that the problem was that the wood was too soft. To the 7th day, due to lack of nutrition and water, you look so shy, so that there is no longer enough strength to pick coconuts. With just a few moves I feel down. And now my strong heart is suddenly broken. Lonely, hungry, and desperate gradually break. I can only let go with screams of pain. But bad luck won't let you go. Vomiting appears again. After many days of eating raw sea cucumbers, your body finally can't stand it. Your whole body is getting tired. Even coconut meat, what I used to think was delicious, has also become difficult to swallow. If it continues like this, it's not just that completing the challenge becomes difficult, but can you go back to your grandmother? It's also a question. After thinking carefully, he decided to open his medical bag and inject antibiotics. Give yourself until the 11th day of the challenge. You've finally seen a positive change. Your body begins to heal. And last night's torrential rain filled the shells. He uses a straw to transfer rainwater into plastic bottles. The joy cannot be controlled. This time luck comes. Continue to explore the island. I found that taro has a lot of starch. Cherry is 4 years old. However, if you eat raw, you will easily get mouth ulcers. But that doesn't make it hard for you. He used stones as knives to cut them into thick slices. 1 hour in the sun. Check back in 2 hours. I picked it up for a moment and tried to eat it. Crispy as potato chips, with 10 times the starch content of beef. You eat it all in one breath. However, just eating vegetables without meat is not enough for protein supplements. So I decided to build some fish traps. He cut in half the plastic bottles he'd picked up, plugged the bottle mouth into the bottle body. So a fish trap is done. To the coast using sea cucumbers as bait. Put it in puddles in the rocks. Check back in 3 hours. Surprisingly, you've got it. In the trap there are some small fish lying in a mess. You directly enjoy the fish sashimi. With a combination of meat and vegetables, you've recharged. Right now, You feel powerful and motivated to live. After summing up the previous 7 defeats, he chose a solid piece of wood as his base. When everything is ready, he took the drill and started rubbing hard. After many attempts, the spark finally appeared. Then he puts it on fire and gently blows. "That doesn't make me 7, he said. The powerful fire was successfully lit. "It's really hard. I can't control my emotions, glad to shed tears. It's even better than seeing my grandmother again. You don't have to eat raw food anymore. Can you complete the challenge? Let's continue following." After a lot of effort, you finally started the fire. It's a British gentleman. The first thing you do when there's a fire is make yourself a cup hot tea to enjoy. Take a sip of tea and drink it cool. Your spirit has also improved a lot. Even normal raw coconut rice. I didn't forget to put it next to the fire. It tastes like a slightly burnt baked cookie. The summer challenge is 47 days away, and the rainy season is approaching. If you stay in the cave, sooner or later you'll be freezing to death. So you've got to quickly build a shelter to cover the wind before the rainy season comes. However, before that, you've got to deal with something important. The rainwater you stored up a few days ago. It's almost over now. You have to find a new source of stable water. I remember exploring the island. I found a natural hole. Maybe there's fresh water there. He cleared the rocks above and actually found a small transparent pond. At the bottom of the cloudy water turned dark yellow. It is clean enough to drink. It's sweet and delicious to drink. Like wild Fonda. He collected 10 in total for years of water bottles. On the way back, I found a lemon tree. Its leaves contain a lot of vitamin C. It is suitable for cooking tea. I took 11 to the camp. The time has come to the 15th day. Early that morning I went to sea. I caught some crabs and flying fish. No more ginger and garlic. I put it all in the iron pot. I didn't miss the whole soup. Because in this place, any food can't be wasted. After breakfast, he brought his tools to the island. Find a flat land. Spacious and intended to build a shelter here. There is no suitable cutting tool. You have to use oyster shells instead. Just cutting down a tree took all my energy. First, he tied the main vertical bar, using ropes made from tree bark to fix it, so that the shelter can shield the wind and rain. I need at least 10 more. It took me 2 days to build the basic framework. This left, it's the opposite of hard work. Those are my poor tears. At noon when the tide recedes, I decided to go out and get some protein. To avoid sunburn, you used oil from the Sydney tree. Apply it all over your body and take the basket outside. Even though I can't find anything to eat, I found a lot of ocean trash. Hitting the shore is no different to you than a treasure. You didn't just collect 10 plastic bottles, but also picked up a toothbrush and a football. Until the 18th day, even though life is hard. But the habit of brushing your teeth every day still has to be maintained. He made toothpaste out of crushed coal. Clean your teeth. It's been half a month without combing inside or out. It doesn't feel like a good toothpaste. It's 10 times more effective than beef. And then he went on to build the shelter. He still lacks a pole to support the roof. He started cutting down the tree with stones. However, due to long-term malnutrition, I could do it for a while and had to rest for hours. The body is always hungry for protein. There's no other way. I had to stop my work and carry a basket. Go to the sea looking for rotten fish. Bad shrimp. This time I got a lot of things. In addition to the crab, I found an unlucky eel. However, when an unknown creature is discovered, I can't help but shiver. To witness a strange creature, I opened my eyes. This creature isn't just monstrous, but it's constantly flowing out a cloudy white liquid. Just a moment later, the liquid was all over me. Although it's not clear whether it's edible or not. But you just need to be able to supplement protein. I packed it and took it back to camp. I put it on the grill. Bake for about 10 minutes and try a piece. It's pliable, sweet, and sticky. Nutritionally, there's no need to say. At least 10 times more beef. And this strange creature while grilling. It exploded again into the water. They don't look interested in eating, but in principle no waste. I still swallow a piece. It tastes like a burning wheel. On the night of the 19th, you've faced your first challenge. In the early morning, he started collecting 10 soft drinks with a straw, collected 9 bottles of imported mineral water. You finally don't have to worry about fresh water anymore. But this rain makes me feel the pressure. Because your cave is opposite, with the sea and nothing to cover. If the weather gets worse, it will no longer be suitable to stay. Looks like you have to hurry. Completed the construction of the shelter. Because the island doesn't have big leaves for a roof, you can only use palm leaves to weave tea. Then he tied the woven leaves to the frame. Over the next few days, you keep doing these things. Until the 22nd day of the challenge when he was picking coconuts, I made a sudden discovery. This one is like a durian. But even I'm not sure I can eat it. You break one and try one. As a result, it tastes spicy, that I can't swallow. To replenish energy, I've been back in the area before. Discovered the taro. Remember that taro used to be delicious. So I thought that leaves could be eaten. However, when trying to eat, I feel my gums aching and my tongue is burning. Fortunately, I was able to pull it out in time. If not, the challenge of survival on the island will end here. In the next period of time, the food problem has not improved. It's made your construction speed very slow. The roof is only half finished. One day when we go to the sea looking for food, I even met a tough guy. Bitten by the eel several times. What makes you angrier is some goats. Wild on the island, I don't see you. Just eat and drink right next to your shelter. If not because there is no proper tool in hand, you must have butchered them. To the 24th day, thinking that the shelter was almost complete, I decided to move the dry wood. But when you're happily planning, suddenly the roof was too short. Not enough to cover the rain. I don't want the days of effort to go by for nothing. I decided to extend the roof. But now my body is tired. Every part of the body longs for rest. It reminds me of my grandmother. I thought I'd give up. I can't believe you're used to this life. On the 27th day, luck finally came to me. When he explored the island, he found taro. In total, he dug up 7 taro and some sea crab. There's enough food. You finally finished the construction, roof for shelter. Until the 29th day, after 2 days of renovation, your shelter is finally complete. Makes my spirit so excited, and I can't help but sing the original songs that I've composed in the last 2.5 years. Then, he packed his bags and brought the fire to his new neighborhood. After completing this important work, I decided to reward myself with a cup of tea, Big Lock Spring. However, I am not satisfied with the present because I have a bigger plan to make. And in the next episode of the Island Survival Challenge, Wild will come to the climax. Let's wait and see. This is definitely a fight scene, the most controversial in survival. You're Wild when others are struggling. With 3 days of hunger and 9 meals, you found wild goats on the island. Not only full harvest of dry goat meat, but also enjoy the coconut filling with fists, just sipping crispy roasted goat legs on the outside, soft on the inside. People who look at you will think you are on vacation. Since moving into a new house, your life is slowly going to a dead end. Every day I have to go to the sea to make a living, even though the eating problem has been solved. But to be able to live life like a king, you have to deal with the wild goats on the island. After a few days follow-up, I found out there were 7 wild goats. They spend most of their time in the north of the island. So he decided to build a bow for hunting. You cut down a small tree that has no value as a bow, and use the rope. Find a bow. It takes less than 10 minutes. The bow can hit the target accurately. I can't wait to experiment. I didn't expect the arrow to go to the right. Seems to need a little more improvement. On the 37th day, he got a big harvest. Early in the morning, he went to the sea and harvested some 10 crab with 2 big boxes full of sea snails, enough to provide energy for the whole day. However, as he prepares to cook a hearty seafood feast, then an unexpected sight made me 7. The bottom of the box has broken a large hole. Instead, we have to use seashells. Look at the colorful and flavorful crab soup pot. I can't wait and start enjoying it. It is delicious, but you should not eat too much. Really, the next morning, he found his belly inflated like a balloon, even frequent farting. To alleviate the symptoms, he started chewing wood. But soon the situation got worse. Constant headaches and stomach cramps caused me so much pain that I lie on the ground and scream. Can't take it anymore. I'll call the paramedics immediately. But after a long time they arrived. Your condition has improved somewhat. The doctors just asked. Give me some antibiotics and leave. The next morning, the body is still not fully recovered. But going to the sea, I can't give up food every day. That's what it takes to survive on the island. While walking, I found a big box of Chinese goods. Take it back to the camp with stones, split in half to form a pot, cooking for sure, and grit, and then he sharpened the blunt piece of iron he'd picked up, and then used the bark to match it to a piece of wood, to form a battle axe. Test a little. I saw the axe. It is so sharp that it can be used to cut trees. Vegetables easy. Half a month ago, you've entered a period of cultivation. Grow some taro that you don't want to eat. That way, every time the season comes, you can harvest taro again. Cherries a taro doesn't grow well. Take it back to camp and cut it into shoes. You don't need spices, you just throw them in a pot and heat them. The 43rd day has arrived. Your luck has finally come. When exploring the island, I found a giant coconut crab. Pick it up and try the feeling. It's actually over 10 pounds. This makes me very happy. Because it's a premium material. You just roast it on a charcoal fire, without adding spices. After half an hour, the smell of roasted crabs filled the camp. Crab meat is bigger than a punch. One piece is enough to satisfy you. They eat so well that they can't speak. After adequate protein supplementation, I feel full of energy. That day I decided to finish my bow. After adding the nail to the tip of the arrow. To increase penetration, everything is ready. There's only one goat missing. I went into the forest looking for traces of wild goats. After many missed shots, I can only excuse that the terrain is narrow. It has affected my performance. The 44th day went by, though we didn't catch any goats. But life has to go on. I found a water pipe in a plastic container. They're going to build an automated water storage system. First he cut off the water pipe raw, then put them under the eaves, so that rainwater can flow into the plastic container at the end of the tube. Very fast. The opportunity to test the feasibility of this device has come. A sudden torrential rain fell on the island. Rainwater flows according to the tube and continuously pour into the container. I don't worry about lack of water anymore. Your luck has not stopped. That day when I went out on a schedule to find seafood, I suddenly found a goat hanging. Not dead on the beach. The goat's head was stuck firmly into the tree's branches. Before a protein-rich meal that self-surges, the adrenaline in your body starts to surge. The goat that was suddenly illuminated by light trembled with fear. To avoid giving it unnecessary pain, you with a kind heart, pick up a stone from the ground and finish quickly, and humanize its life. With this adult goat for the next half month, you don't have to worry about food anymore. I can't help but be excited and say yes. Bring protein back to camp. Take out the battle axe that has been stored for a long time. He quickly processed the goat's outer layer. After more than 2 hours of processing, he got for goat legs, 2 pieces of ribs and a pile of meat. Next he cuts the meat into long pieces. After more than 7 hours of work, you've completed the processing. I'm exhausted right now. And quickly cook a pot of goat soup for yourself. I'm about to enjoy a delicious meal. Make him happy like a 20-year-old. Then you try a piece of goat meat. And it's so delicious that it can't be described. The nutritional value is not discussed. At least 10 times more beef. After eating until the next morning, the food will spoil if left for a long time. He hung meat on the roof to smoke and prepare an underground oven for processing. He dug a big hole and filled the rocks in. Next you light a big fire and wait for the fire to go out, and then neatly put the goat's legs on the surface. Cover a layer of leaves and soil to retain heat. To 30 after you come back check. When you open up the soil, the fragrance comes out. I can't wait for it to cool down and eat a big piece. Feel extremely satisfied. I can feel the energy pouring into my body. A strong feeling. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. After a full meal, I sat by the beach enjoying the sunset. In the following days, you sit in the shelter and enjoy goat meat every day. Until the 47th day, I ate half the meat on the roof. It's not because the meat will spoil. It's because it's so delicious. I can't stop eating. I even get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and still have to take a sip. And when it comes to goat skin, you don't waste it. After he washed it, he hung it on a wooden frame to dry. When the skin is dry, he handled simply and got a goat leather jacket. I feel very comfortable wearing it. When you put on your goat leather jacket, I feel the look, and his temperament has improved a lot. But you don't stop there. They keep looking for more food. I went to the place where the goat's organs were removed. It's full of worms. I decided to take advantage of them. I don't hesitate to be careful. The kidney collects a vial, and then we take them into puddles on the rocks. Then he built a stone wall across the entrance. I hope there will be fish eating away. As long as they go in, they can only be turned into calories. 2:30 after check back. I actually caught a big, small grouper. I took it back to camp and cut it into thick pieces. Put it in the stew pot. About 5 minutes, and a delicious fish soup is finished. A piece of fish in your mouth that's full of fresh flavor. Things just keep going well. And I'm starting to feel complacent. In the following days, I started making a bamboo raft. He collected 11 little dried bamboo from around raft frame construction, and then tie up the sponge to increase its buoyancy. A small raft is finished. On the 51st day, I chose a good day to start. I don't know if it was due to strong winds or strong waves. You've been climbing for half a day, only 2.5 meters. Even the waves pushed the raft back to shore. I think this method is definitely not possible. I had to give up my fishing plan until day 57. Since there's enough food, I didn't forget to increase my training, physically trying to get them excited when they come back. In my free time, I made myself a bed, attached with a warm goat fur blanket, a finished wild-style bed. When I lie down, my body feels completely relaxed. One day when I went out for a walk, I found a mango tree. Seeing the lush green appearance is definitely not ripe. But I don't care. Pick a fruit and eat it immediately. I don't know if it's because I bit too hard that you accidentally dropped the denture. Now when I talk, I can't stop losing my breath. Until noon, he cooks a pot of seafood mixed with taro, a homemade exotic dish, and enjoy. Fast forward to the end of the day. When I woke up that morning, I feel like my body is working well. After 60 days on the island, your beard has reached the top of your head. After saying goodbye to the tent that had been attached for 2 months, I'm happy to take my raw gear to the beach. As the helicopter slowly approaches, a 60-day survival challenge on the island, the wilderness ended perfectly.